Alright, well, welcome to part 3. Obviously, if you haven't seen part 2 or part 1, you might want to check that out too. I already got the top 2 rollers off. I kind of got distracted and forgot to start recording, but I'm going to take the bottom 2 off here, take out these little retaining clips, and oh, you fucker. Language. It's pretty nasty in there. Being difficult. Being difficult. This bearing is like totally shot. Ah, these cheap pliers. Yeah. Come on. Should be moving around like so. Oh. This clip is pretty messed up. Hopefully this will be able to be reused. There we go. Look at that. That's just messed up. I don't think that's any good. What do you think? Garbage. So let's get this one off too. Put this one up in an awkward position. Really? Things they could have done is when they put this one on. Just put it in so it's easier to grab. Oh. There we go. Let me see what bounce. Of course, probably went under the saw. Alright, let me go grab that. Alright, I got that one too. It's one of those days. I suppose if I did YouTube videos for a living and have my spouse go to work, I would be able to have all the time to make this all glamorous for you. But I work for a living too. It's like most people. Don't live off the system and I don't depend on other people. So I try not to. That out. Take out the other one. Keep this to the side. I'm gonna have to pound out that bearing here in a minute, so get this one out real quick. The top ones, I actually had to pound out. They were in there so tight. So I'm gonna make sure I grease all this up before I even attempt to put it in again. So let's go pound out. Now what I'm about to do here, I'll probably give some people a stroke, but hopefully you have medical insurance, because using just kind of a little nail set because I don't have my drift with me, so I'm just gonna pound these out, putting it in the vise, the flat part of the nut, and I'm just gonna pound them out and then put the new ones on. Yeah, removed. Sorry about that. Stubborn little fucker. There we go. I'll just end up cleaning up the top there. So, all right, let me go get the grease. Now, what I'm about to do here, I'll probably give some people a stroke, but hopefully you have medical insurance, because I'm just using just kind of a little nail set because I don't have my drift with me, so I'm just gonna pound these out, putting it in the vise, the flat part of the nut, and I'm just gonna pound them out and then put the new ones on. Yeah, removed. Sorry about that. Stubborn little fucker. There we go. I'll just end up cleaning up the top there. So, all right, let me go get the grease and get ready to clean up. All right, now let's just start putting these together. Obviously, I'm not going to set them with the width. See, this is the one part that I was talking about up here, of how it's like real tight to get in there. So I'm just going to kind of place it in there for right now, and I'm going to put those retaining clips on first with the shitty Japanese, Chinese pliers I got off of Amazon. These things are crap. But I'll put this on first. I'm gonna make sure it's locked in there. You want to listen to a click or feel the click. I have to. That one in. So basically all I'm going to be doing is just putting these clips on first, just push these in, and then put the blade on. So I won't spare you all the details. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. You heard that clicking noise, hopefully. That's what you want to make sure with these here, which I'll show you here in a second. Hopefully you can kind of see the clips right there. You can see that. Obviously there's a groove inside where these retaining clips sit in, and sometimes it'll be out of that groove, so that's why you want to make sure you hear the click and you have it pushed in. Just an FYI. Alright, now obviously I have those on, and I'm just going to put the lock washers and the nuts on. I'm not going to tighten it down because I got to put the blade on, and the clearance should be, I think it was 0.003. I don't have a feeler gauge, so I just go by sight. Basically, it's probably as thin, well, everyone's fingernails are different. Let's just say a piece of paper, like a notebook piece of paper, slightly under it. You just basically don't want the rollers to be touching it originally, because what'll happen is, like, when you start cutting, the blade will eventually catch on to the rollers and just kind of spin it. So I'm just gonna keep putting these on, and I'm sure if you're watching and the people that see me pound out shafts or whatever, they're probably like shitting bricks. As you can see, I'm having no problems putting the nut on, because I wasn't like banging it out different angles and coming down full force and stuff like that. This is gently working it. So we'll go put the blade on, and we'll just tighten everything down. Which the clearance looks pretty good too, so we'll find out when I put the blade on. Alright, obviously, one thing that kind of sucks about this saw is that you have to take off the guard all the way off to put the blade on. Nuisance. So, you gotta figure this is an old saw, so things changed a lot. Sometimes it's a pain in the ass to get it on. But usually I don't struggle this much. So yeah, usually yeah, it sucks that you have to take off the blade to get this on, but or take off the guard to put this on, but it is what it is. Just gonna tighten this up. It's nice and snug. That's good right there. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now is I just put a piece of scrap in here. I'm going to run the saw this way. The blade will fall back onto that back wheel, which luckily I didn't have to replace because they pinned all of this, so that would require to drill out and some grinding or what have you. But luckily I don't have to worry about that this time. So let's see how this works. Let's see how that stop that I put in works on the switch, and let's just see how well it cuts now. Alright, as you can see, it cut good. The stop works. The handle's a lot easier on my hands. I just had to put that guard over the pulleys, but I won't have to film that. Everything's all adjusted. The only thing that's left for me to do is just square up the clamp, which is pretty self-explanatory because you can cut angles and stuff like that, but everything works pretty good on it, and it's quiet, like very quiet, so even while it's cutting. Obviously these bearings I've already checked because I already put 2 of them back on, but they are the correct bearings. kind of hard to mess that up. Ooh. So we'll just grease them up a little bit, and we'll grease up this here, so this way when it slides down, it'll slide nice and easy. Which in this case, whoops, I'm bad. I'm going to definitely have to kind of clean up. I don't know if you can see that, then that's all worn in there. So I'm just going to take this on the sander or the grinder and just kind of clean that up, because there's a lot of burrs and stuff on there. But we'll get to that part here in a minute. It's bearings, so slides on. So we'll clean up all of these here. This one's not too bad. Gonna have to pound this on, so that's gonna probably give another stroke, but it's my shit. So let's just clean that up a little bit. Yeah, those bearings are just shot. I'm just using some heavy duty grease. That's all I have right here right now, but it'll still work out just fine. Just gonna set up to this a little bit. A little lube. These are usually compact with grease, so I'm not really worried about that. Just kind of getting it inside just a little bit. This is the part that's going to probably once again give you a stroke. So let me move the camera for you. I'm going to end up just kind of tapping it in. Obviously I have a hole in my bench. I'm going to be very careful when I hit it though, because I don't want to mess up the threads. But almost there. Definitely a tight squeeze. Just got a little bit more to go. I'm gonna move over to this area here. My face is getting in the way. There we go. Just got a little bit more because I had to get that clamp on, that locking retainer clip on. I have enough room. So now I'll just do the other 3 because I already got the 4th one done. Yeah, it sucks that you have to take off the blade to get this on, or take off the guard. Put this on, but it is what it is. Just gonna tighten this up. It's nice and snug. That's good right there. All right, now let's see. Don't get a lot of play to get that 0.003 at all in between. The blade. I'm just looking. I have to kind of take it right there. You see that missing some parts to this, but I'll just tighten it down. Can't do with my wrench and everything. What the heck? What's up over here? So yeah, I'm just gonna snug it down. It has a lock washer on, so I have to crank it down. Yeah, I don't like how tight that is. The option is to open up the shaft hole, which I don't really want to do. I have to get this up and going because I got projects I have to work on, filming and working on stuff. It takes longer instead of just getting it done. So it's alright, I'm gonna put the guard back on and start her up and see how that goes. Alright, I got the guard on, so I'm gonna start it up and see how it runs. So let's see. Now what I usually do is you want to run it for like, I don't know, like 30 seconds. Wheels are turning, the bearings are turning. But what I was saying is that you run it for about 30 seconds or so, 15, and then you just want to tighten it down again, because when you start running the saw blade, the pulleys loosen up, everything's getting adjusted, I should say. So then this way you tighten it down to where it's supposed to be. As you notice, I was able to still turn it a quarter turn, and previously I had it nice and tight. Well, now the blade work, it's way back onto the pulley. There you have it. I mean, it's nothing special, as in, you know, putting new parts on besides the rollers / bearings. Stop works, as I said. Guard will work out just fine. I'll be adjusting that clamp. As I've said in previous videos, you know, some things you can just do yourself, even if you're just kind of rigging it up a little bit, as long as it works safely and you kind of know what you're doing. Now, if you're like new to fabrications and machinery and stuff like that, go out and buy the new parts, you know, if you can afford it. It's not worth trying to hurt yourself over, but I'm pretty confident, so. And in future videos, if I don't have all my fingers, well, you know, I messed up, but I'm sure I didn't. So thank you for watching. Please follow, subscribe. There's going to be more other videos coming out, all pretty much across the map and everything. So, and I'm going to try to upload as much as possible, but like I've always been saying, you know, I work full time. I don't stay home. I'm not like a YouTuber where I send my spouse off to work while I play with cameras and stuff like that. You know, times are hard. You gotta make money. So, but anyways, thanks for watching.